And to discuss the global consequences of the 9/11 attacks, we're now joined from Moscow by political expert Dmitry Polyakov, Vice President of the PIR Political Center. Dmitry, we're here in the city of Yaroslav, where the Global Policy Forum has just wrapped up. And one of the main topics discussed was the global security. How did the 9/11 U.S. attacks affect the defense policies of other countries?
Well, I think they actually changed the world, because there was a global understanding that terrorism is number one. It should be on top of the agenda, and that consolidated efforts are needed to overcome this terrible security challenge. So I think a decade, or nearly a decade, is a good time to to make sum up the results. And the thing is that today significant efforts of the international community and of the leading nations, of the special services, has actually resulted in serious progress in fighting terrorism. Terrorism is becoming number, let's 5 or 6 on the global agenda. It's no longer the hottest topic. So I think, there are some positive results in this struggle.
Dmitry, on the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, the US ambassador to Russia has said that the two countries are working together to fight terror. How true do you think this is?
Well, there is an exchange of intelligence information. There is a lot of discussion through the diplomatic channels, and there is a lot of cooperation between Russia and the United States in this area. Of course, the most difficult area to deal with is Afghanistan, where still there are some bases of Al-Qaeda, and Russia and the United States have a good potential for cooperation in this area in joint efforts to cut down the financial aid to terrorist bases in Afghanistan, and also in revealing the terrorist networks in this country.
Dmitry, with Al-Qaeda still active globally, what do you think the international community can do to effectively tackle this threat?
Well, I think that actually the international community, as I said, have already achieved serious progress because Al-Qaeda is slightly disappearing from the global agenda. I mean, if you look at the number of terrorist attacks in the recent years, it has diminished, and I think significant work has been done to ruin the grassroots of Al-Qaeda. Of course, one of the most, let's say, positive outcomes is that the world has managed to prevent the split between the Islamic civilization and the Christian civilization, and the attacks in New York in 2001, they did not lead to the global divide between the two civilizations. I think this is the most important thing that we should know today.
With the recent attack on Russia's Republic of North Ossetia, there is talk about links to Al-Qaeda. Is that possible, do you think?
Well, I think that there may be some links, and of course there are still some foreign mercenaries in the woods of the northern Caucasus, those people who got training in the Al-Qaeda camps all over the world, in Somalia and Afghanistan, in some other countries. But in general, the nature of terrorism in the northern Caucasus is slightly different, and much has to be done to ensure that young people and unemployed people are not recruited by the terrorist network. So again, if you look at the situation in the northern Caucasus, you will see that it has become much more stable, and there are also signs for greater socio-economic development there and greater stability there. But it doesn't mean that the authorities should simply feel complacency, and that they should not work in the direction of developing feedback with the population.
Now, after 9/11, George Bush declared the war on terror 9 years on. How is America accomplishing that mission?
Well, I think that slightly, as I said, this mission has been accomplished. At least terrorism is becoming more and more not a political tool, but more an instrument in economic struggle. So it is used not that systemically as it could have been used, because for Al-Qaeda, for instance, it was not an instrument, it was the ideology. So nowadays there are fewer organizations left in the world which actually profit profess terrorist ideology. So if they resort to terrorist attacks, well, it's simply, well, in most cases, it's somehow connected also with business interests, with economic interests, rather than with significant ideological background.
Dmitry Polikhanov, Vice President of the PIR Political Center there in Moscow, thanks very much indeed for joining us here.